Was the Chernobyl disaster unavoidable? Have you ever wondered how a nuclear disaster could happen in a country that claimed to be a superpower? The Chernobyl disaster in 1986 raised many questions about the safety of nuclear energy and the systems in place to protect it. To understand if this disaster was unavoidable, we need to look at both technical and socio-political factors. First, let's talk about the reactor itself. The RBMK 1000 reactor at Chernobyl had serious design flaws, and like many Western reactors, it lacked essential safety features. This made it susceptible to dangerous power surges. During a safety test, these flaws became catastrophic. Next, we have to consider the culture surrounding safety in the Soviet Union. The command administrative economy meant that safety information was often kept secret. Operators were not properly trained or informed about the risks they faced. This lack of transparency created an environment where mistakes were more likely to happen. Human error played a significant role in the disaster. The accident was triggered by mistakes made during the safety test. However, these errors were made easier by the absence of safety protocols and inadequate training for the personnel involved. Now, let's look at the socio-political factors. The centralized control of the communist system meant that information about safety issues was often suppressed. This secrecy prevented necessary safety measures from being implemented. The focus was often on meeting economic targets rather than ensuring safety. The Soviet economy relied heavily on large-scale industrial projects, including nuclear power plants. This pressure to meet economic goals often led to shortcuts in safety standards. The authorities prioritized production over public safety, which ultimately contributed to the disaster. Another critical aspect is the lack of public accountability. In a system where citizens could not demand safer conditions, it became difficult to hold authorities responsible for negligence. This lack of accountability allowed dangerous practices to continue unchecked. From a technical perspective, better safety measures could have made the Chernobyl disaster avoidable. However, the socio-political context of communism, with its emphasis on secrecy and centralized control, created a situation where such disasters were more likely. The Chernobyl disaster serves as a striking example of how the priorities of a system can lead to catastrophic outcomes. It highlights the dangers of placing economic and political interests above public safety. In this case, the flaws in the communist system became painfully evident, showing how the pursuit of power and economic goals can compromise the well-being of the people.